All right, third installment. This is how the lights up here are routed. So we go from the computer through these USBs. All right, this is like the key for the software. It's a little hard to see. It's a little silver guy right there. And these guys, one is going to the mouse and one is going underneath. The one going underneath goes to this silver thing right here. All right, that's the thing that turns it from a USB signal to a XLR signal, and that's how all the lights are plugged in, a little 3-pin XLR. And we send it from this little XLR silver guy into this wireless transmitter. All right. There are also some lights, the ones on the ceiling, they're ran up through this conduit and they go straight to the ceiling. Everything on the stage is ran by this transmitter. So what you need to know is that we send signal from this. T means transmit, and this transmits on signal 14. All right, so whatever you want to say, trash on it. Yeah, so we're transmitting on frequency number 14. So if you walk to the stage, you'll see on both sides of the stage, because we're running everything off of one system, you'll see we'll have receiver 14. Receiver 14, which means they're on the same frequency. Same thing over here. All the way over here, you'll see receiver 14. So that means the transmitter and the receivers are on the same wavelength, they're on the same frequency, which now we know if there's any sort of issue where they're not reading, that's the first thing to troubleshoot. Make sure their transmitter, T, because we're sending, our receiver receiving to the stage. All right. Now, we go out of these transmitters, all right? And if you just follow these lines, they're labeled right here. It'll say DMX in, DMX out, and stuff like that. We basically run from the receiver, all right? We'll run out into this rack. Again, you can follow and trace all of these. It doesn't matter, all right? You just need to be able to go out of the receiver. And this is the dimmer packs. Now, everything I'm showing you on this side of the stage is also mirrored identically on the other side of the stage. Okay, so these dimmer packs, and I talked about that before, the dimmer packs only have one job: to dim light. All right, so these big boxes that say Eliminator 123D, those big dudes, that is the dimmer packs on the software. You can see we also have dimmer packs up here on the ceiling. These dimmer packs dim these spotlights across the stage. You'll see there's 4 plugs up there, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, which means we have 1, 2, 3, 4. One of those I think is a black light. I think it's one of those, which that's on its own thing. And then same thing over here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 4 or 5 over there for these spotlights. Again, there are 2 dimmers up top. 1, where is it? 2. And there are 2 dimmers on the corner. So these lights that are on these little headlight cans and the lights we had in these boxes, the only function that these lights have is either getting bright or dark. All right, and I'll show you how to wire those up. But again, all you need to know, as long as we're all connected together, it's not a big deal. These should be plug and play. So whatever you guys plug these into, this should automatically set up plugs for this. Now you can see here, this guy is not plugged into the dimmer. It's plugged into the power strip, which means we don't have any sort of dimmer control. We only have power. So if I were to switch this plug into the dimmer box, I will then have dimmer control over this light, which means I can control this light by itself from the computer, which is what we want to do. Okay, otherwise you're just all the way on or all the way off, no in between. All right. So now that you know kind of how they're ran and how they're arranged on stage, again, these guys are ran through conduit through the ceiling. These guys over here are on the wireless transmitters. Now, every single light that is not a dimmer has an address. All right. So if you click on mode here, you'll see we are on DMX channel 14. That's just a coincidence from the receiver 14. This guy, address, This is dimmer 41. All right, DMX address 41. And this light bar, if I click menu enough times, address 27. So you, 27. And you'll see here, I'm on the left side tree, all right? You'll see when I go back over here to the software, you'll see that those 3 lights on the left-hand side, which I have mirrored right here to kind of make it easier to look at, if I right-click any of these, I think that top one was number 14, and you click fixture info, so click any fixture, all right? This guy, fixture info, you'll see here my DMX address is 14. So you know that 14 and 14, those match. All right. That black light I think was 41, fixture info, right click, and perfect. It is 41. And I think the pixel bar, that little light bar guy, I think that was like 27 or 72. Exactly, 27. All right. So you see that all of those are identified by number. So sometimes when they've gotten off in the past, it's because those numbers are wrong. Go to menu, go to address, and whatever these guys say here, make them match there. All right. This is sending a signal through the USB to this little, junction box, to this transmitter that throws it across stage to the receiver and says, hey, item number 14 changed from the color green to the color blue. That's how every single light on stage is wired. It has an address of where to send whatever function you're doing to that specific light. Now, I said this before, the dimmer, all right, which are these little fader looking guys, all right? We got the 2 dimmers on stage, all right? And we got the dimmers up top, right? These spotlights, okay? I called these boxes. These dimmers, whoops, I'm sorry, wrong button. Didn't mean to click that. When I click these and I go to fixture info, there really isn't that much of an address because they're going straight to a box, all right? So don't worry about those, okay? These should never have to really be fixed. Now I'll make a video that shows you about dimmers since I've talked to you about how they're wired and how to match addresses.